Hey guys, it's Mr. Joe. How you doing? Doing a online lesson for week 5. We're going to dive into economics again. We started economics prior to heading out for the virus, so we're going to take a look at um, just an intro to economics. We're going to talk about market economy. We're going to talk about supply and demand, and we're also going to chat about different types of economies, like a mixed economy, a free market economy, like here, and a command economy. That's in the other video that I sent to you. Um, and there's also a little quiz on that as well. There's a brain pop on the link that I want you guys to do on supply and demand. And there's also another little exercise for week 5 that I want you to do as well before we meet next Friday. So we're going to talk about a free market economy. And a free market economy, a lot of people mistake the United States of having a free market economy. We do not. We have a mixed economy. Um, Countries like Singapore and Hong Kong have free market economies, a totally free market economy. And so, what is a free market economy? A free market economy is an economy that relies on the laws of supply and demand. Supply and demand is how determines price, right? So if something is in low supply, if we don't have a lot of it, the price is going to be higher because there's a high demand. So low supply, high demand equals a higher price. If we have a lot of something and not a lot of people want it, then the price is going to go down. So we're going to talk more about supply and demand later, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what supply and demand is. But that's what drives a free market economy. And there's good things and there's bad things about a market economy. And there's some certain characteristics about it as well. So, what is a market economy? If you remember, we talked about this. It was a long time ago, so it's okay if you don't remember. But some of the things that are special to a market economy are things like private ownership. So, you own goods, you own things, you own your house, you own your car. You're allowed to have your own stuff. You're also allowed freedom of choice. You can choose whether or not to purchase something, how much you want. If you want to purchase something that's really expensive and you can afford it, that's fine. If you don't want to, you don't have to purchase it either. So you don't have to buy stuff. And you can also decide who you would want to buy it from. And that's the third bullet here when we talk about competition, when people compete. And that usually helps drive prices down because if you go to Lowe's and you want to buy a lawnmower and they have it for $500, but the Home Depot has a sale on the same lawnmower for $450, well, you're going to go to Home Depot because they're competitors and the price is lower, so you're getting a better deal. And that helps drive competition. You see that a lot with gas stations. They'll change their prices depending on the gas station down the road, just to help get business. So competition helps drive prices in a market economy, but it also has its drawbacks, which we're going to see here soon. And with a market economy, the government really doesn't interfere too much with it. They just ensure that the market stays open in times of crises and things of that nature. They don't set prices typically, and they kind of let the market just do as it needs to do without getting involved. So, why would you want to do a market economy? Why is it good? What are the advantages of a market economy? So, with a market economy, the most desired goods and products are made. So, things that people really want are produced and made. Because they can be sold at a good price. Those same goods and services are produced at the best way possible. So they're produced at a high quality. They're usually produced pretty cheaply because there's competition again. So there's profit to be made at the business level and savings, hopefully, on the way with the consumer, which is you guys when you're buying stuff. A market economy also rewards innovation, and innovation means inventing stuff and new technologies, new things that come around, right? As new inventions come around, like the new iPhone and the new phones that come out and the new video game systems, you get rewarded for that because you're adding into the market and these things will sell, and it's a new way of doing things, and people get excited about that. So it rewards people to do well because you want to do well, and innovating is one of the ways you can do that. And lastly, the other advantage of the market economy is successful businesses. So businesses that do really, really well also put money into other businesses that will possibly do well too. So they invest in each other for an overall good. They're not going to invest in their competitors, but they'll invest in other businesses that they see might have a good product or a good idea. So those are the good things about a market economy, right? The most desired goods and products are made. The goods and services that are made at the best and cheapest, usually cheapest way possible. It rewards innovation and inventions and technology, and the businesses invest in each other. So, what's not so good about a market economy? Well, it basically has a lot to do with the competition part of a market economy. People who cannot compete are at a disadvantage, right? So if you can't get out there and open the new store that's going to sell the best new ice cream in town because you are maybe you're hurt or you're disabled or you're older, then you can't get out there and compete with everybody else. Okay, and that also goes with people who take care of people who are disabled or elderly. Caretakers are unable to compete because they're caring for other people, so they can't get out there and do their best as well. So again, competition is good, but it doesn't always work for everybody. Third button here says that the human resource may not be best used. That can be kind of confusing. What that means is somebody who, let's say that Mr. Joe has to take care of his daughter, and he's got to work at McDonald's because that's really the only job right now he can get, because that he's going to work at McDonald's, he's going to take care of his child, and he's going to do what he needs to do. But he's also has the cure for cancer. But because he's working at McDonald's, he's not able to put his knowledge to use at the best available resources. Okay, so sometimes people who really can do well can't because of their circumstances. I know that's confusing, but we'll go back over it, okay? And unfortunately, there are also big differences between income levels. The rich get richer, and sometimes the poor get poorer, and that's also due to the competition and things of that nature. So it's all kind of related. There's good things and there's bad things. Okay, so let's go back over that real quick, okay? And we'll talk about it again on Friday. So, characteristics of a market economy: you can own your own stuff. You can choose whether or not you want to purchase something or where you want to purchase it at. There's lots of competition between different businesses and different companies for your business. The government does not typically interfere with what you do or how much you sell or what you sell it for. It's good because the most desired goods and products are made. Those products and goods are produced at the best way possible. Innovation is rewarded, and businesses typically invest in each other. It's not so good because people who are at a disadvantage in society, like the disabled or the elderly, are unable to compete at the same level as everybody else. And people who take care of those, the elderly and such, are also disadvantaged because they can't compete because they're taking care of like their mom or their dad. And there's also a real big difference between income levels. So some people get rich, and some people don't get, have a lot of money. So those are the pros and cons, or advantages and disadvantages of a market economy. So that's just a real basic overview of a market economy. Again, we're going to talk about it probably again. I'll probably send another exercise on it just so that you can help grasp the concept. We'll talk about it on Friday, and we'll maybe do some sort of experiment to talk about supply and demand. Make sure you watch the other videos and you do the exercises, and the brain pop is on supply and demand, and that's also pretty useful. It's a good way of explaining it. And there's also something extra there for you guys to do this week, okay? So have a good one. Hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to y'all later, all right? Bye.